Imagine you hire a brilliant new employee. They've memorized every textbook ever written, but they have absolutely 0 hours of real-world experience. On their first day, they're dropped into a busy office, and they're clearly overwhelmed. Having all the facts in your head is one thing, but the real world is messy. If a customer makes a strange request and this new hire just guesses what to do, they could end up doing a lot of damage. Many people think of AI as a magic box that just spits out answers, but a system that can work in a business needs to do more than just guess. Instead, it needs to think exactly like a careful employee, one who stops to consider the consequences before they act. This is the science of teaching a machine how to make its own choices. We want to build a system that looks at a situation, weighs its options against your goals and risks, and acts on its own, without needing a human to approve every tiny step. To do that, we give the system a mental checklist. This logical process forces the machine to compare every possible action it could take, looking for the one that makes the most sense. The goal isn't just to make the system smart. It's to make it a reliable, independent worker that knows exactly how its choices will impact the world before touching a single real-world system. First, we have to teach the machine what a win looks like. We do this by assigning a numerical value to every possible result, essentially giving the AI a success score. If a user buys a product, the AI gets 20 points. If they complain, the score drops. Chasing points is dangerous without understanding mistakes. So we add a massive penalty, a heavy weight dropping when approving fraud, balancing best outcomes against costly disasters. Looking at both sides of the scale, the system stops asking what's the fastest way to succeed and starts asking what could go wrong. This balance prevents the machine from taking a high profit risk that could accidentally bankrupt the company or hurt a customer. It learns that safety is part of being successful. In a perfect world, the data would always be clear. But in reality, sensors fail and information is often missing, so our system has to learn how to deal with being unsure. Instead of thinking in black and white, the machine thinks in percentages. Scanning a document, it says, there is an 87% chance this is fraud. A certainty meter also tracks if it's working with good information or just guessing from a blurry picture. But confidence isn't everything. Businesses have non-negotiable rules. Even if the machine is 99% sure about a refund, it hits a hard-coded boundary if the request is past 30 days. The rule overrides the math every single time. This combination, playing the odds while obeying strict boundaries, ensures the system stays flexible enough to handle new data, but rigid enough to stay within the law. But what happens when the situation is so confusing that the percentages don't make sense, or the rules don't seem to apply? An unreliable system might just force an answer anyway, but a system built for the real world is designed to stop. It recognizes when the risk of being wrong is higher than the benefit of acting. We build in a final safety net, a way for intentionally fail-safe. This is the system's ability to raise its hand. It's a programmed instruction that says, I don't have enough information to decide this safely on my own. If a medical AI sees symptoms it doesn't recognize, or a loan application looks suspicious in a way the machine hasn't seen before, the system stops. It sends the file to a human doctor or an expert who can make the final call. When a machine can weigh rewards, respect its limits, and step aside the moment it's confused, it stops being an unpredictable experiment. It becomes a consistent, careful tool that you can actually trust with your customers and your business.